Hello everyone. I have a question. Why does everything have to be AI these days? The thought occurred to me because I keep seeing videos about Windows 11. They talk about how bad it is. One reason is that everything is AI focused. It's not just Windows either. Everything these days seems to be soaked in it. I don't like it. Why? I will say I use AI for certain things, like their spell and grammar check, but I write my own scripts. I also use Siri to read my scripts to me, as he has inflection in his voice style. Shamefully, the reason for my need for spell check is that I'm so used to texting that sometimes I forget where to put the more complicated punctuation marks, or I've forgotten a comma or two, which, by the way, isn't good when you're trying to write a novel. However, I draw the line at generative AI. Grammarly has it, but I didn't go to school to learn, only to have a machine turn my brain muscles to mush. I did use AI once to clean up a picture from the 70s. It was very grainy, and that's about the same as background removal for thumbnails. The picture was a gift from my mum. She loved it and it looked clear, but generative AI is bad for the planet. My issues are with how it's used today. For example, kids use it to do their homework. Why? Just because something's easy, it doesn't mean it's good. I recently came across a short from Jimmy Carr, and he said, "You can't have an easy life and a great character." I agree. I'm not saying that if you use AI to do your homework that you're dumb. However, what exactly are you learning? It's very easy to get an AI to do your homework. Get yourself A's for everything, then leave school. Then we have the problem that people around my age and younger don't know how to identify money or count. They don't know how to read analog time. Some even have trouble with digital time, or what they call army time, or the 24-hour clock, which I use. But as I've said before, and I'll say it again, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. The brain is a muscle. Occasionally I find myself forgetting certain things. I occasionally confuse was and were due to the slang. This is made worse because my book is based in Yorkshire and they say it the other way round. I've had arguments with semicolons and other difficult punctuations before the internet, so that's not AI's fault. But as long as I, to use an old people phrase, keep my hand in, I can somewhat remember. The problem is that people don't keep their hand in. They find something to do all the work for them, then they get the marks and still learn nothing. My dog had an amazing nose, but because he had his sight, he never used it. I realised he was losing his sight when he reverted to using his nose. I made sure he kept his paw in. We'd put him in the foyer, drag food and hide it, then let him sniff it out. He enjoyed it even more after he found it. Going back to AI, generative AI does all the learning for you. When I was young, people used to copy other people's homework or pay someone to do it. All was well until they had to explain their workings. Let's take people who make AI art. They say that they want to win prizes for the concept, but they didn't make the art. They got a computer to do it, compared to an artist who probably used pen, paper, ink, and maybe graphite. Some people do their art on the computer, but they're still doing it. AI art takes a second, maybe two, maybe three if the computer is really slow. Then up pops a picture based on your suggestion. I have aphantasia. I know that I cannot draw, but I wouldn't use that line of art, then claim I made a masterpiece. When I was younger and you couldn't draw, you asked someone if they could draw for you. AI is making us lazy. We're already getting lazy in general. Our attention span has gone to pot. They're even working on a mini fridge that comes when you call it. It's meant for disabled people, but we all know that healthy people will end up disabled from buying it and becoming sedentary. It's very painful with my arthritis to be active, but if I don't, then I'll lose the ability to use my legs and I'll end up with a commode at 35, and I don't want that. My mum, who is Gen X, got A pluses that's multiple, with distinction. She is still one of the hardest people I've ever played on Scrabble Go, and the reason she's so difficult is that she didn't pass off the information. She didn't cheat. She absorbed the information whether she wanted to or not. She read books as if they were food to her, and to this day, the information has stuck with her. When you grew up in the 70s and 80s, you didn't have the internet. So if you wanted to learn something, you had to work for it. These days, we have all the information at our fingertips. Instead of learning, we're just trying to find any way of not doing the work while still getting the reward. Most of the time, the closest you came to cheating in her generation was using a calculator. And teachers would normally tell Gen X that you're not going to have a calculator in your pocket when you grow up, so why use one now? Use your brain. They were wrong, but we still need to use our brains. Sat-nav is good when you're driving, but if you can learn to use a map, do it. Geography was never my strong suit, and I find it confusing, and I don't drive, so I stick to using maps on my phone. But if you can, do something that may be inconvenient, but will help you in the long run. The way my mum and other people of her generation did things back then was learn, absorb, spit out knowledge. And that is why my mum is impossible to beat. Because all this knowledge that's been in there since the 70s comes out when she plays. But it has to be in there to start with. You could have gone to school and done all this stuff, but if it doesn't go in, then there's no stores. Even if you've forgotten it, if it's in there, you'll remember when the time is necessary. I have a family member who used to be able to play the violin. I say used to because if you don't practice it, you kind of forget. And it's the same with life. If you stop using your brain, you will forget how to use it. I saw another video a while ago saying that people don't like hobbies anymore because you have to learn them. They like the result, but how you get there and failing and continuing to learn is not something they enjoy, so they just don't do it. They watch other people who have done the work and succeeded, and they live vicariously through them. Look at me, I bought a violin. Then, this is me after 10 years learning the violin. But you never see under the hood. Let's see the mistakes, the frustration and the determination to carry on. We need to see imperfection, then we'll know if we want to do it. Rather than only seeing perfect on the internet, buying the thing because it looks cool, and then having to learn it, and it takes 1 second to learn it takes 7 to 10 years, and you have to work hard, and you have to make time, and you have to put in effort, which you don't have to do when you're watching it on a screen. Remember this, failing at something makes you human. If you're perfect, then you're not human, or you've had so much practice that you don't put a foot wrong. Even then, you'll have days when you are ill. You'll have days when things go wrong. Things that you know so well will go wrong because we're not perfect. You also have to understand your limitations. I understand that I can't draw because of my aphantasia. I understand I'm never going to run a marathon or become a dancer due to my arthritis, but I'm not going to get something to do it for me. Use your brain. Do you want to end up with Alzheimer's because you're not using your brain? Use it before you lose it. My mum is the best Scrabble player that I know, but rather than getting upset that I hardly ever beat her, I learn words that she puts down. I learn what they mean, and if I can use them in a sentence, it's easy to remember them when I come to use those words. I also play people who are better than me. Dig for knowledge. If a dog could smell a bone, even if it doesn't belong to him, and he wants that bone, he would dig it up and put all his effort into finding that bone. He doesn't ask us to get our spade, shovel and excavator to dig up this bone. No, he does it himself. He smells that bone. He wants that bone. He'll get that bone. We need to be like that. Otherwise, we will end up neutered of our knowledge. I don't want that. Do you? If you're still here, then you're handsome and you're beautiful and you, well, I'm speechless. I'll let you know next time I see you. Over to the pets. Hello all, this is Sylvie. If you liked what you saw, then subscribe for more. Hey everyone, my name's Bonjo. If you enjoyed yourself, then give it a thumbs up and share it with all your friends. Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and if you had fun, then comment down below and let my mum know if you use AI.